Paul is a film released by Working Title, directed by an American Greg Mottola and written by Nick Frost and Sam Pegg. The film stars two main British actors in Nick Frost and Sam Pegg. It also stars Seth Rogen, who's an American actor and comedian. He voices violin Paul in the film. The film in particular splits Working Title in half as a British company and as an American global company. Although it does feature British actors as leading actors, partly made to look like idiots as the Americans laugh at them continuously throughout the film for believing in aliens and visiting hotspots such as Area 51. The main arguments for Working Title not being a British company in this film is that the film is set in America and the majority of the actors are American. Paul was able to screen in over 2,900 screens on the opening weekend in America. This is largely due to Working Title being a subsidiary company of Universal Pictures. It is allowed to have a lot higher budget compared to other British film companies such as Warp, and the Working Title budgets go up to about $100 million. This particular film was $40 million, which could not be made back alone in the UK, so it needed to be distributed globally, and because Universal Pictures is in the conglomerate of NBC Universal. Universal Pictures in the so-called Big Six, which means it has a lot of power in in Hollywood overall. John English was released in 2003 and is a Working Title film. Had a budget of $35 million US. This amount of money could not be made back by the British cinema alone, like I previously said, so it needed to be distributed globally and essentially in America, which it was. The film was distributed by Universal Pictures. By having an American distribution company allowed the film to be seen on a much larger scale, although on the opening weekend of the UK it featured on 445 screens, making it a massive hit in the UK. In comparison to the American box office, which usually features on 3,000 plus screens. The film has a British director in Peter Howitt, and the lead actor is Rowan Atkinson, who is English as well. The film starts out by showing a castle and the surrounding countryside, which Americans seem to have the imagination that England is full of castles. As well as that, the lead actor is Rowan Atkinson. He is well known globally as he features in the Mr. Bean films and comics. He has a southern English posh accent and works for MI5, which is a well-known spy agency. As well as that, another aspect that appeals to the Americans is the Queen. She is shown throughout the film, in particular at the start, which will comfort the Americans as they will be able to relate to her, and they know who she is. And this is shown by her featuring in a portrait and through symbolism in the castle, such as the crown jewels have been shown. Green Zone was released in 2009 and is probably the least British film that I've looked at so far, and for several reasons. It had a massive budget of $100 million US, which was funded by Universal Pictures. It is almost 100 times more expensive than any Warp film, which is another British company. The film starred an American global star in Matt Damon, and only involved anything American, as it was based on American Marines searching for weapons of mass destruction in Iraq during 2003. The only thing British about the film though was the director, Paul Greengrass. Universal Studios thought this film was going to be a massive hit, and due to the big budget spent on it, the company mass marketed the film. It was shown at 3,003 screens on the opening weekend, but it became a flop. This was due to it being marketed too close to a previous series starring Matt Damon, the Bourne films. The film grossed around $35 million US together. United 93 is a real-time count of events on United Flight 93, one of the planes hijacked on 9/11. It is another American-based film directed by Paul Greengrass. The film had one of the lowest budgets that I've researched so far, which was at $50 million US. This is low in terms of an American film, especially as it was distributed by one of the Big Six, Universal Pictures. The film casted a number of real-life participants in the events of September 11, 2001 to play themselves. Due to it being a real-life film, it had little or nothing to do with Britain, as it was set in America. having mostly an American casting. The film also didn't feature any A-list actors, although it had several TV actors, an actor who has been in previous films such as David Bash, who acted in War of the Worlds. This was common earlier working title films where they didn't feature big A-list actors as they couldn't afford them. Hot Fuzz is a working title film released in 2007 and directed by British director Edgar Wright. The film was written by Edgar Wright and Sam Pegg. The film starred two British actors in Sam Pegg and Nick Frost. The budget for this film was £8 million. A possible reason for this is because it was released before Paul, which also stars as two actors, that had a lot higher budget, but this could be due to Nick Frost and Sam Pegg wanting more money, as they had become big stars due to the success of this film worldwide. Universal Pictures distributed this film, and it was overall very successful. On the opening weekend, it grossed almost £6 million and featured on over 400 screens. Overall, it grossed $23 million alone in the USA, making it a big success. The film is based around two cops trying to find out about recent deaths in rural English villages in southern England. As said previously, the film is set in a rural location. The cops are both wearing traditional police uniforms, including police hats, which Americans can relate to as they are known worldwide. At the start of the film, police sirens are displayed over Universal Pictures Island, which is picked up straight away by a British audience, as they are well known. The lead actor Sam Pegg doesn't have a southern accent, which is surprising for a lead actor in a British film trying to appeal to an American audience, as they tend to make the lead actors middle class and have a really southern, posh England accent. Overall, this film has a very British feel to it. Although it was a big hit in America, it doesn't Americanise much of what is Britain.